we're very lucky to have Brent German coming all the way from Australia. He is actually on his way to go and see or go and crew for Tony Robbins. So we're lucky enough, he actually literally pulled over to the side of the road so that he can chat with us and answer any questions that you may have for him. He's got a really great background, a lot of information, has not had the easiest of times, but luckily he is here with us to be able to share some great information and help some other people on their journey through grief and loss that some people have been going through. So I know there's a lot of really great stuff that he can be sharing with everyone here today. So I'm really excited. Hopefully we had some issues with technology trying to get him on before, so hopefully now we can figure it out and get him on. So if you are, hopefully you can find us, Brent. That's always the fun thing with technology, is that it never works quite as you expect it to. It should be very simple, and there's always seems to be some kind of issue with it. So hopefully we can get him on. So let me just make sure that he sees it. Sorry, hopefully we'll figure it out. He's not finding the video. He's not seeing the video. Joanne, when you came on, did it just pop up, or did you have to search for the video? Because I think Brent's having a little bit of trouble finding the video. Oh, I think someone else came on. Brent, I see Brent. Okay, let's see. All right, Brent, I'm adding you. We've got it. Yay. All right, yay. Fourth time was a charm. Figured it out. Okay, it popped up.
Hey, sunny Australia.
Got it.
How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing really good. I'm glad we kept trying. I know that it's, I was telling everybody that you literally pulled over to the side of the road to be able to do this video with us. So it's not always easy to figure stuff out.
Oh, that's right. It's I just jumped off my kangaroo, so I thought I'd join the interview.
The stuff that we don't think about here in the States.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Because my ears are actually turned off. You can hear me okay?
I can hear you well. If anybody else can't hear, please let us know. But I think so far it seems pretty good.
No, that's okay.
So I was just going to share some of the information, some of the background for Brent. He is a hypnotherapist, a timeline therapist, neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, psychic medium, energy healer, forensic healer, professional golfer, and golf coach. So you have quite an interesting background.
Correct. Thank you.
So tell us
on my way to Sydney to work.
What is it that you do? I know you're headed to go hang out with Tony Robbins, but what is it that you do?
Yeah. I just help people overcome negative emotions pretty quickly so they can live the life that they want, because life's too short. And today might be my last day, who knows? So might as well live how you want to live. That's my philosophy. Mm-hmm. And I've done that pretty much all my life, since my mum passed away, basically.
Yeah, you've had some big loss. So I don't know if everyone got to read some of your story. I was really interested in, actually, you've had some major loss. Do you mind sharing some of that with us?
Yeah. Through adversity, I think you actually learn about yourself and you grow, give you a chance to grow, but some people actually go the other way. So back in 1996, when my mum passed away, I'd given up golf for 7 years. So I just wanted to win a club championship, which is the best golfer at the golf club. And it actually got my life back on track. So pretty much I drank alcohol flat out for 2 weeks after mum died, didn't know what to do. Still drank flat out and ate flat out for about 2 years after that. In 1998, I went to a landmark education course in Melbourne. And I basically just wrote a goodbye letter to mum and read it out to this old guy sitting next to me, and I just cried my ass off. So for all you guys out there, it's okay to cry, because it actually relieves stress. And that was a turning point in my life, not full turning point, but 2 years after that, I won the club championship, and that's the best day of my life. So that changed everything. But I didn't actually, with life, I go in to give a lot, and I didn't actually want to win the club championship for me. I actually wanted to win it for my mum. So that was my driving force. And yeah, when I hit that last shot in the last hole that day, I cried my ass off. My mate said, "You all right?" All my mates thought I had lost the tournament, but I'd actually won it just because I was crying that much. So that's that start. And then my little sister passed away last year of suicide. I'll never found out the autopsy, but I know with my intuition that's how it happened. And I do know a couple of facts that were happened there, but she did overdose on diabetes needles. So, and I was the person who had to go and get her stuff and everything. So, yeah, it was a sad day that day. But and I wallowed around for a while, straight up front. I wallowed around for about 6 months, not doing much, didn't know what to do, stayed in bed, just didn't want to work, didn't want to do anything. But it's like I had good friends that supported me. They said, just live here as long as you want. Because I was sort of in between. I shifted states. I shifted about 1,500 kilometres apart for a while. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me, my story, I guess. But life is too short. You got to live it. Just trying to get in the sun here, Steph. Is that better?
Good. So,
Yeah.
what's now? You said you have the ability to help people shift their programming quickly to be able to get them to not have that grief and that loss be so overwhelming.
Yeah, correct. So I can shift it really quickly, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I love doing it. I had a client on Monday where I did quite a few different things of the tricks I've got, or the skills I've got, I should say. And basically, his dad and brother had passed away sometime in the last 4 years. And at the start of the day, he was ready to leave his wife for 23 years, and he basically wanted to give up alcohol because he was grieving through alcohol. And he was going to go and leave his wife for another girl. But at the end of the day, I rang him. And he said, I rang the other girl. She just wants to be friends. And I'm going to stay at home. And he just felt so good. But when I did some NLP on him, it's hard to say. Still find it hard to say. Neuro-Linguistic programming. And he was just chanting out, I love you, in his brother's name. And he didn't want to stop. But I tapped into his subconscious. And I knew that was a thing, and I don't know how long he went for. I love whatever his brother's name was, and I reckon he said it for about 10 minutes, but that was a shift. And he hasn't really grieved or said that since his brother died about 4 years ago. Okay. So, and I haven't spoken to him for the week, but I'm going to call him today. But my intuition says he's actually stopped drinking alcohol as well. So yeah, I love helping people. I've been doing it for a long time. But I see things, and I just know how they're feeling, and I know what to say. So yeah. I'll let you talk now.
Well, we have in our group, I mean, a lot of the people in our group are mostly women, but we have men as well. And the men will love to, finally an interview with a guy. But there's been a lot of people that have dealt with a lot of loss when it comes to relationships, and very toxic, very unhealthy relationships. So I know that in the private groups and things like that, the big conversation is always the fear of losing someone or making a mistake, even though they're being treated badly, and the guilt and the shame that come along with the failing of a marriage or a relationship not working out, or a variety of different things. And I think that some of the things that you do sound like that would be really helpful for a lot of our clients that are in our groups.
Yeah, it would be, because I know with most people, it depends if people are open or closed to getting help. But if they're open, I know I can transform them in under 5 minutes. I can change their mindset in under 5. I tap in real quick, go, bang. And I've been doing that for a long time. I do it at the Tony Robbins event, did it last year, just tap in, bang, bang, done. I get breakthroughs really quick. So if anyone needs a breakthrough, I can help you find it, whether it's loss of a partner, loss of a life. If you want to get rid of a relationship, you want to get into one, if you want to change careers, whatever, I tap in under 5 minutes. So I just love doing it. It juices me. But yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, is that, I say to the people in our groups that, you have to do the right work before you can attract the right partner. And, life, there's abundance, and there's plenty for all, but we need to really look within and work on ourselves before we can attract the right partner. That abundance is there. We just have to do the right work for ourselves. And one of the tools that we need to have is to feel that we trust ourselves. I trust myself. I know I can make the right decision. Like, you know, there's certain phrases that we need to really genuinely feel on the subconscious level in order to get us past, and then it becomes natural. So a lot of the stuff that people are complaining and upset about, once you can get that reprogrammed at the subconscious level, the other stuff kind of just comes naturally, and it just is easy and free flowing.
Correct. Totally agree.
So what are some things that you could, what happens, what does a session look like? What is it that you do during, can you give us an example of what a session is like with you?
Well, I'm just going to talk about NLP because I believe that's the major tool that I use amongst everything, but I never really know till it turns up. So people, I just say, give them a bit of an idea what you want before they even come, like what I want the future to be. But when they get there, I sort of know which of my 25 different skills that I have to use in order to change them. So, you know, I've had a couple of clients book for a hypnotherapy session, but they didn't need that. It was something else. So I don't really know till they actually turn up. But I know I can do it on the phone. I can do it in a phone call or in a video. I don't have to be there. But a session would look like they turn up, I allow an hour, I ask them what they want. I've got a process that I go through. And then basically I just do NLP. But give an example, the other day, I did NLP. Every session's different. I did NLP. I thought it might have been hypnotherapy, but it wasn't. I saw this guy's brother and his dad. They were actually talking to me. I just see pictures. I know what to say. Sometimes what I say, I don't know where it comes from. I can't really explain it. It just comes to me, then it comes out my mouth. I don't know where that's coming from, but I just know what to say. So it's sort of weird. It's very hard to explain, but you know, sometimes I tap into the words that people use, because I believe that the words people use are very strong, and I really tap on that really quick, and I actually make them aware that, you know, I suggest you probably don't use this word because of this, this, and this, and maybe this is a better word to substitute for that, because I believe that's making you feel angry just using that word. So the session is fairly wholesome with a lot of things that I do, and sometimes I'll even talk about people's finances. Being an ex-banker, I know how numbers work, I know how loans work, so it's just, I can pretty much someone's life coach, business coach, transformation coach, golf coach. I just do everything. It's just whatever turns up on the day, because people need guidance, and it really, you can't help yourself, Stephanie. You need someone to help you, and I've always had mentors. I've had about 10 to 20 mentors in my life that taught me everything, and this is a bit weird, but I think, I don't know, you can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure since they've passed on, they've given me their gifts, and that's how I've got these gifts. It's hard to explain.
Oh, and as a coach myself, I completely understand, because that's what the empath skills, the ability, like pictures come up or things come up, and that's what helps me also use my intuition and my gut and all those things to be able to help really get in the same place that my clients are at. But I understand. And that's one of the things that I'd recommend, is that we got here by using our own thinking, and that faulty thinking has not worked. So it's really important to have the right team. I talk about, anyone who's ever watched me before, we know I always talk about having the right support team, the right team. And for me, you know, having a therapist, having coaches, having mentors, all of those things came together and helped me get to where I am here. I definitely didn't get here by myself. I definitely had a lot of help to get here. You have to want it and work for it, but you can't do it by yourself.
No, correct. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm still coaching golf as well, and the whole golf lesson day, I coach a very successful CEO of a finance company in Australia, and I actually did NLP on him, and the whole session was just on that. I said, I won't use his name, but I anchored in to what the best day of his life was. That's the trick I use. No, it's not a trick, sorry. And that's the phrase I use, and I anchored what it was, and we found the word, which was associated with the colour that he saw that day. And like the golf shots he hit, and these are the ones he really doesn't like hitting these little short 20, 30 metre shots. And out of about 30 balls, just by doing this anchoring through NLP, he only hit 2 bad ones. And the rest were the best shots he's ever hit from that distance. Wow. And this is a very successful person in life and in business. So I did no technique. I just an hour of NLP. And that turned up at a golf session. And he was stunned. And I said, no. You feel good,
That's
don't
impressive.
you? So his word was azure, which is the colour like aqua, which reminded him of the best day of his life. And when he's talking about the best day of his life, I actually picture myself there. So I see it. It's weird.
That's
I actually
cool.
knew what the colour was before he told me. So yeah, shows up all the time.
So I see a few people watching, and I know that you're probably gonna have to get back on the road at some point. I don't know if anybody's watching has any questions that they'd like to ask for Brent since he's on with us. We're lucky enough to have him on. You know, of course, he's got a variety of different things in his repertoire. So if there's a question that you have, you know, we'll see if he can answer it. And of course, if you're watching this as a recording, you can always ask it, you know, leave it as a message and we can always get back to you. But, you know, feel free to ask questions. So this is definitely an opportunity to ask questions, open it up to whomever has anything that they'd like to share. You know, that's what we're here for. So we're here to serve you. So whatever it is that you're looking for, please let us know so that we can answer whatever questions you have. And as people are typing, because I know there's a little bit of a lag when it comes to typing and everything else, anything else you want to share as something that's like your, I don't know, your go-to tool or something that you want to, your golden 2 cents? Anything else you want to
ask questions? I'll tell you a bit about my story. So there's a little bit more, but after my mum died, she actually wrote a letter to my best mate's dad, and we were friends forever. And actually, my dad doesn't even know about this letter. But our mum had always wanted to leave our dad for years and years and years. She only stayed there for the security of the money, not for love. And so me and my 2 sisters' belief was that if she'd left Dad, especially my older sister Rachel lives in Paris, if she'd left Dad, she would have lived a lot longer because she was very unhappy in that relationship. And I didn't click for a few years afterwards. But me and Mum used to always play, like, what's it called, Tetris on Nintendo, or 500 or Scrabble till 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And also, she always used to sleep on the lounge room floor watching telly. And when I saw that letter that my friend's dad read out to me, everything made sense. She hated Dad's guts. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching, but that was in the letter. She should have left you years ago. And I believe that you shouldn't stay in a relationship just for security or for safety, or life's too short. So that's my advice. If you're not happy where you are, if you're not in love, I don't see the point. I really don't. If you get all the help you can get, if you've been through every channel and it's still not going to work, it ain't going to work. Face the fact. So get out. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, and I sharing that because that's actually one of the things. I did a video just recently about when I was in my toxic relationships. I had back issues. I had bursitis in my left shoulder. I had a blood clot. I went through a depression. I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. I had Raynaud's, so I couldn't feel the tips of my fingers when it got cold. I mean, the list of things was ridiculous. Well, I'm older than I've ever been, and I have 0 of those problems. So it's interesting that the biggest commonality was bad relationships. I was in a toxic environment. My body was reacting in a toxic way. And once I changed those things, my life, my physical health changed. And I have 0 back issues. I'm pregnant with our 2nd child, have no issues with anything like that. I mean, everything literally went away. And, you know, and I was always pretty decent with my eating and exercise and things like that. But the biggest takeaway was I didn't have that stressful, toxic relationship anymore that I was dealing with. And now everything is great. So I don't disagree.
Well,
I think that I'm better off for sure.
Yeah, you did it. Well done. But you sought help. You didn't do it just by yourself, did you?
Oh. No.
Yeah, Tiger Woods has a coach. No. I have coaches. I coach others. I still have a coach, even though I am a coach. I got lots of them.
Yeah.
So, well done.
You need that because you constantly improve. Let's see. Joanne says the challenge for me is finding a job I love.
Can we talk to her? Can we bring her on?
No, because we can only have 2 people on. But you can answer.
Joanne.
Yeah.
What do you love doing? That's all I want to know. Tell me what you love doing. I don't care if it's picking your nose. Just tell me what you love doing. It's a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. What is it that find what you love and do that for sure.
Yeah. The truth sets you free. So I'll tell you my story. So I worked in the bank for 17 years. I went to Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within. I suggest everyone, even if they don't like self-empowerment or improvement or whatever you want to call it, just do Unleash the Power Within. It changed my life. 4 intense days at the end. I'm not allowed to swear on here, am I, Stephanie? No swearing?
No, that's fine. I don't mind swearing.
Can I say the F word? Because I want to drop the F bomb. So, okay, I'm going to drop the F bomb. So at the end of the event, I said, fuck this. I'm going to quit the bank and do golf the rest of my life. And that's it. I said that at 8 p.m. on the Sunday after the Tony Robbins event. And I quit. I told my big boss, I said, I'm going to quit soon. I'm going to do this. He said, yeah, you need to do golf because you love it. And I did it. So I've been a golf professional, golf coach for 14 years now. I just made a decision. So life is just about decisions. Just make it. Even if you're scared, just go for it. I wasn't scared though, because I knew I could do it. Mm-hmm. I just said I knew I could do it, and I'm going to go do it. And everything aligned to my decision. So as soon as I said, fuck this, can do golf, a job turned up through someone I knew, just turned up. I didn't have to go find one. And everything's fallen into place. And everything's always fallen into place for me in the golf industry and everything else at the best places. Things just come to me because I'm quick to make decisions. I don't muck around. But has anyone on live there read the Mel Robbins book? Have you read that one, Stephanie?
No, I have not read that one yet.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like, it's funny, like Tony Robbins is my idol. Now, Mel Robbins, not related.
Oh, that's
but
interesting.
there's a tactic in there if anyone's procrastinating or they don't want to make a decision. And it's as simple as this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So if you can't get out of bed in the morning, say that, get up. If you can't make a decision to leave the relationship, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm out. Whatever. There's a bit of a tip. Because I've only read this book a couple of weeks ago, and it makes sense.
Well, that's
just that easy to change your state.
Feel the fear, but act anyway. Just because you're feeling uncomfortable, feeling the discomfort, it doesn't mean to not do it. It means you need to do it anyway. Because the fear sometimes is your protection, but realistically, the fear just continues the discomfort as opposed to acting anyway, feeling uncomfortable, and then it being over, as opposed to, oh, I'm scared, and then you never really live your life. So you're actually living a unhealthy, fearful life for your whole life, as opposed to maybe a short period of time of that discomfort.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, go for it. Make a
decision.
So we have more questions?
We have questions. Joanne said that what she likes is water, but she also said thanks for the advice. And then Melissa said, I can't make the step of no contact, so I feel like I am a willing victim. I have taken steps, but can't go no contact in my empath narcissist relationship.
No contact, so she can't contact the other person, is that what you're saying?
Well, one of the things that we suggest in the healing is to the person who is causing you all this pain, especially if someone is a narcissist and causing you physical abuse or something like that, is to go no contact. So, block them, delete things, in no way, shape, or form try to contact them, because with codependency is a drug. It's a love addiction. So you're constantly trying to help that other person. So Melissa's saying that her big problem is taking that step of saying, I'm not going to contact him anymore, and that's what's keeping her trapped in the relationship. She's not.
Is that what she's saying to herself? I'm not going to contact him anymore? Is that what she's saying?
But no contact
means.
She's
saying.
But she can't. She's not able to.
Oh, she can't. So she can't contact that person?
She can't go no contact. So she knows that she should not be contacting, but she still wants to have a conversation and have contact with them, even though she knows that that's hurting her.
Oh, wow. Well, I can change that through a session, easy. But a tip for that. The fact that she's actually saying to her subconscious that I can't go no contact, she's actually saying I want to contact. So I believe that change your words, change your life. So, Joanne, what else do you want to do? What does your perfect partner look like? Write a list of what your perfect partner looks like. And if you're not sure, just write that down. Even guess a couple of names, maybe. I have a ritual every night that a healing friend of mine told me Thanks, Usne. But I wrote down all the qualities of what the perfect woman looks like. I'm single at the moment, ladies, so yeah. But attractive, funny, smart, spiritual, self-development, attractive, likes to keep fit, willing to grow and listen. That's just part of my list. There's about another 20 or 30 things I write. But I generally like that, read that every night just before I go to sleep. And it's just started, it's turning up everywhere. It's weird. I mean, I'm 48, but attractive girls are just flowing towards me. It's strange. Doesn't matter what age either. Whether they're 20, 25, 35, even 66. They're all coming to me ever since I started to do this ritual. So I think, you know, if you want to overcome that.
Oh, I think we lost you for a second, Brent. There you are.
Are you there?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I lost you for a second.
Yeah. Sorry, just had a phone call come in. I shut that off. Just write down what your perfect partner looks like. Because that last person isn't your perfect partner.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it sounds like you were controlling the relationship. It's time to let go. You can't control people. And there is a great book written by a golf psychologist, Dr. Bob Rotella, Life is Not a Game of Perfect. His first book was Golf is Not a Game of Perfect, but his other one's Life is Not a Game of Perfect. Joanne, you got to stop being perfect.
Oh, it's Melissa, but that's fine.
Melissa, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
And again, for those of you who watch these, I love everything that you're saying, Brent, because these are all things I've said so many times. So it's wonderful to hear it from another coach and from a male perspective. You know, it's not just me saying it. This is, you know, also from a male perspective. And for me, when I found my perfect partner, I had to become the right person for me first. And then I did the same thing. I had the list of who I was looking for. And I created that vision in my head of who I was looking for. And when I finally met my now husband, I almost knew, I could almost tell you his features. I mean, I knew exactly what I was looking for. So when he walked in the room, I was like, whoa, that's the person I've been looking for all of this time. And I got married at 37. So, you know, and had bad relationships before then. So I love the fact that you're in your later 40s, because there's a lot of women in here that are saying, you know, oh, well, it's too late for me. I'm too old. I'm not able to. And again, I'm 40 now, pregnant with our second child. My husband's 42, almost 43. You know, you're 48. Looking is a healthy thing at this point for you. Some people, if you feel like age is trying to push you towards finding that person, it's not the age.
No, nothing to do with age.
It has exactly nothing to do with age. It has to do with, are you comfortable in yourself and strong enough in yourself? And not that you can't start making your list, but you really got to work on you first and get that garbage kind of gotten rid of. And then you'll start being able to attract, you know, just like for me, I only attracted bad relationships until I was set and comfortable with myself. And now here you have all these possibilities of people. They're not who you want, but you're attracting much better people, I'm sure, than maybe before the work. So, you know, you will attract the right partner when you are the right person for yourself.
Correct. So just a simple phrase I use, you got to love you before you can be loved. That's it. If you don't love yourself, you're going to attract yourself, which is not loving yourself. So you're going to attract bad relationships. So love you first, then find someone second. Start loving you first. Go to the gym. Go for a walk. Go for a bike ride. Do something that makes your heart beat. Do what you love. Whether it's crochet, doesn't bother me what you do. Just go do it. And don't worry about other people think. And actually, that's one of my traits I've had forever, is I don't care what other people think. As long as I'm not hurting the other person or doing anything against the law, just do whatever you want. Like, life's supposed to be lived. One of my words I use with my clients, I use it all the time. Just have some fun. Pretend you're a 5-year-old. You don't care about anything. You don't think about anything as a 5-year-old. Just pretend you are one.
It's all play.
5-year-old. And all the big companies that do marketing, they just talk to 5-year-olds. So if you didn't know that, that's how marketing is done. They're pretending they're talking to a 5-year-old. So just be a 5-year-old. I'm 5, this many. Maybe that's why we high five, because we're just all 5. That's a tip. Have we got any more questions, Steph?
I don't see any more questions, but I love that because that's what I've realized, that just life is an adventure, and you can make that adventure what you want it to be. And I had the adventure of it being not so great. Now I'm in the adventure
Yep.
part that it's really great, and I'm really glad that I turned that corner and got to where I am now, because this is fun. This is probably the most fun that I've had, and you know, I'm older than I've ever been, and it's the most fun that I've ever been. So, it's not that you get older and things just get crappy. Like, you can get older and actually things can get even better and better as you age. It doesn't mean that anything negative, you might have made some mistakes before. Well, that was then. It's the power of now. It's what's going on right now. You have the
Yeah,
possibility
yeah,
of
yeah.
change.
Yeah. And before I'd read all those self-development books, I want to give a big call out to Troy Schmelin. How you going, Troy? Or HUD is your
Mm-hmm.
nickname that I gave you. But when my mum died, I was drinking a lot of alcohol and grieving. But we actually used to say to each other, live in the now all the time. To the point that the mug I got, the pewter mug that I drank out of, he bought me one. He wrote my nickname, which is Eddie Murphy, is Eddie, to him. And because I recite Delirious. I've got I recite Delirious. I can, all the same. And because that's why I'm called Eddie. But he bought me a pewter mug. Dear Eddie, have your birthday. Drink up from HUD, but it was live in the now. It was written on it. Still got it. I kept it. Got it in 1996. The year Mum died, he gave it to me. But when we're talking about relationships, there is a Delirious skit. I just thought of this. Have you ever watched Eddie Murphy Delirious?
A long time ago. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, but I remember it. He says, like, about the movie Poltergeist. He just said, why don't they just get out of the house? They stayed. So you can use that analogy. If you're in a bad, toxic relationship, just get out of the house. Eddie Murphy said it in Delirious, like all those years ago.
Yep. All those comedians that were able to figure things out that still don't understand. What
That's right.
comedians know better than the regular people. That's always really funny. Melissa and Joanne just said, thanks, guys. And they're sharing some extra love in there between Joanne and Melissa.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I haven't seen any new questions come up. But again, there'll probably be stuff that comes up for people while they watch the replay. But thank you so much for coming on and stopping on the side of the road on your awesome trip to go and hang out with Tony Robbins. That's a really exciting. It's going to be an exciting.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. It's the best week of my life. But I go there to give. I don't go there to get. And because I go there to give, I actually don't expect to get, but I actually got all I needed last year from a girl called Sandy. You know who you are, Sandy. So, but I just go to give, and that's it. And I go to transform. I do transform lives. So that's another reason I go.
Yeah. And it's wonderful. And that's what I find. The more that you give, the more that you get back. It's when the manifestation and the power of abundance, the more you give out to the world, the more you that comes back to you. So keep giving and keep shining your light. And thank you so much. And Joanne says, thank you both. And thank you so much for coming on. And thanks everybody else for being such a wonderful part of our community. We have some wonderful people that are working on changing their lives. And I'm so happy to be able to be a part of your journey and help you out. So, I'm going to try to have another Facebook Live soon, perhaps Wednesday or perhaps sooner. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get somebody else on for you. But again, if there's any questions for anyone, please feel free to ask in the comments. Brent or myself will be able to answer those questions for you. And have a wonderful week, and we'll be seeing you online. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome.
Have fun from Australia.
Australia.